Have you ever had one of those nights where everything changes in an instant? Where the line between reality and nightmare blurs so completely that you're left questioning your own sanity? Well, this is one of those nights. The night a werewolf attacked me. Sit back, turn off the lights, and let me take you on a journey into terror. It all started on an ordinary Friday evening. I was at home, unwinding from a long week of work. The fire crackled in the hearth, casting flickering shadows on the walls. My dog, Max, lay curled up by my feet, snoring softly. Everything felt safe, comforting, but sometimes the greatest horrors come when you least expect them. I'd planned to spend the night reading a new horror novel. It was something of a tradition for me. Every Friday, I'd lose myself in a world of fictional scares. But as I opened the book, a sense of unease washed over me. I shook it off, attributing it to the eerie plot of the story. Around 11:30 p.m., I decided to take Max for his nightly walk. We lived on the edge of a small town, surrounded by dense forests. It was a peaceful area with little to no disturbances. The moon was full that night, casting a silvery glow over the landscape. As we stepped outside, the air was crisp and cold, and a strange stillness hung in the air. As we walked deeper into the forest, the sounds of civilization faded away. All I could hear was the crunching of leaves underfoot and the occasional hoot of an owl. The path ahead was dimly lit by the moon, casting long, eerie shadows that seemed to dance and flicker. That's when I heard it. A low, guttural growl, much deeper and more menacing than Max's. My heart skipped a beat, and honestly, a chill ran down my spine. The sound seemed to come from all around us, echoing through the trees. Max's growl turned into a whimper, and he cowered behind me. For a moment, we were frozen, locked in a tense standoff. Then, with a speed that defied belief, the werewolf lunged at me. I barely had time to react, throwing myself to the side as its claws slashed through the air where I had just stood. Max barked furiously, but the creature seemed unfazed. I scrambled to my feet, my heart pounding in my chest. The werewolf turned to face me again, its eyes glowing with a feral intensity. I knew I couldn't outrun it. My only chance was to fight. I grabbed a fallen branch, brandishing it like a makeshift weapon. The werewolf snarled, baring its fangs. Seizing the opportunity, I grabbed Max and ran. I didn't look back, didn't stop until we were safely back at the house. I slammed the door shut and locked it, my heart racing and my arm throbbing with pain. Max was still whimpering, but at least we were alive. I collapsed onto the couch, trying to catch my breath. The reality of what had just happened began to sink in. I was attacked by a werewolf. It sounded absurd, like something out of one of my horror novels. But the pain in my arm and the fear in Max's eyes told me it was all too real. I spent the next few days researching everything I could about werewolves. Legends, folklore, sightings, anything that might help me understand what I had encountered. The more I read, the more I realized how little we truly knew about these creatures. But one thing was clear: I wasn't the first to see a werewolf, and I wouldn't be the last. I decided to share my story, to warn others about the dangers lurking in the darkness. Some people might call me crazy, but I didn't care. I knew what I had seen, and I had the scars to prove it. So if you're ever out in the woods at night and you hear a low growl in the darkness, be careful. It might just be a werewolf waiting to strike. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more real horror stories. And remember, sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones we don't believe in.